With us at this time is John Friedman, Director of Operations, St. Vincent De Paul Society. John, welcome. It's great to have you here.
Opportunity to be here.
One of the reasons that we wanted to talk to you is about the new federal law and the Consumer Product Safety Commission on children's clothing and children's items that came to the forefront. Tell us a little bit about the law.
Well, it's a very difficult situation, and I don't fully understand it, but as of yesterday, and that would be the 10th, this went into effect, and it certainly affects people in our business, thrift stores, consignment shops, resellers of used items and used goods. And from what I understand of the Consumer Product Safety Commission, is that this affects just about anything that that is exposed to children, and that would include clothing and toys and among other things. And the law, the way we understand it, prohibits anyone from selling or reselling items that are on the banned list or have been recalled. And the list of recalled items is extremely large, and there's no way you can possibly know everything that's on there. So there are people who are in the business who have opted to just completely cease handling those kind of things. And in our business, that's very prohibitive. You know, we thrive on reselling items, clothing and toys included. So we've kind of taken a more of a common sense approach, and we have our people looking for things that are extreme violations of that. Toys with paint flaking off of them and so forth. And we're trying to weed out the obvious things. The difficulty with all of this is how do you legislate responsibility and common sense, and you really can't. But yet there are people out there who have good intentions in mind to do this and to make a safe world for children and so forth. But I don't think they have thought this completely through to the end, to where the results, some of the results of this is actually hurting people who are less fortunate and who no longer can have access to low-cost items like this. If you think about clothing, oh gee whiz, how can that affect clothing? Well, they possibly can use lead paint on metal buttons and zippers and so forth, and if we find that, we will discard it and throw it out.
John, I want to applaud you for using a common sense approach in this. You know, there is the St. Vincent De Paul Society, there's Goodwill, and there's other organizations such as that.
And they're all affected by this.
They are all affected by this law that, like you said, people in need are going to be affected.
They will definitely be hurt.
And I think the community needs to know about responsibility and a common sense approach to some of these things. After all, yours is second-handed items. They were sold originally.
Yes, obviously, yes.
And like I guess people can go to the Consumer Product Safety Commission webpage to see the pages of recalled items.
That's where I saw them. Yes.
And the law is there as well.
The interpretation of it is there, and there are there's information there as to who is affected and how. For example, stores that sell new items are required to test for the lead-based paint, and we don't really know what that would involve, but I'm assuming that's a complicated situation and certainly costly. And if you can picture this, how do you take a small toy and test for the paint and then sell it for 50 cents or $1? And even in the retail stores that are selling new items, this is going to be a real situation for them. But they're put under the requirement that they have to test for dangerous things if they want to sell it, and the fine, incidentally, is $100,000 if you are guilty.
And that would put many of these organizations, such as yours, out of business.
Exactly. It will handcuff a big part of our operation. And needless to say, we're not interested in moving and promoting dangerous things to children by any stretch of the imagination.
Right. John, our time is up. We appreciate having you on the program today. With us at this time is Ken Sicard, the president of the Ferdinand Town Board. Ken, we welcome you to 18 News, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a town council member for going on probably my 10th year. Been town council president starting my 6th year in office. We've been very busy working our way through a lot of different pieces to the puzzle, as we say. The town of Ferdinand has made some big steps here in the last couple of years, and we really feel that we're on the road to doing the town better.
Well, it seems like you have a lot going over there. There's always something going on, and it looks like it continues.
Yes, we've made some big steps. A couple of years ago, well, a little over a year ago, I should say, we hired in a town manager, Mark Stutzik. He's been instrumental in moving things forward for us as we, look into the future. And our goal is to continue to grow the town in a very programmed but yet controllable way.
Some of the things you have had for years over there, different groups, investment groups and all types of things, and basically now you have two groups that you want to address today. One is the Vision Group, and the other one is the Hometown Competitive. Can you tell us a little bit about each one of these?
Yes, the Vision Group we started a little over 2 years ago. It was a group that got started by 4 people meeting over coffee on a Thursday morning. And we were challenged to call together people that were interested in making the town move forward. We were going to set up with a facilitator and maybe 10 or 15 people, and the facilitator challenged us to have a meeting with 60. We didn't think 60 people would show up. We called the meeting, and we had 60 or better that showed up for the meeting. We've divided those up into 4 different groups to go out and work in different areas, or 5, excuse me. One of them is population, another was new business growth, community development, tourism, and then what we christen the brain gain. Everybody's worried about their young people moving out of town and not coming back. Well, we want them to come back, and so we're going to work on ways of making things better there. So this group got up, was started, and has been very focused and moving forward in their 5 different areas. We have since then introduced the Hometown Competitiveness Program, which is through the state in the rural development portion of the state. We were one of 9 communities that was picked, and we have 4 groups working there. The leadership, what we call pillars, youth pillar, entrepreneur pillar, and wealth transfer. So we have 2 groups that we're trying to help the town out, and what we've decided that we need to do is try to combine them so that we can be more unified and all working for the same goals. So we're in the process. Later this month we're going to have a lunch and have both groups come together and propose our 6 pillars. We'll take the 9 groups and bring them down to 6 and then try to move forward from there.
I think that each one of those groups that you just mentioned, each served a very important part in this getting together of promoting the town.
Oh, definitely. One of the things that has been interesting is while the Vision Group was getting started, we, the Town of Ferdinand, developed a comprehensive plan, which is very detailed. It's looking at the next 10 to 20 years for the town. Everything that the Vision Group picked up on, the comprehensive plan had, and then when Hometown Competitiveness Program rolled around, those also fell right into the comprehensive plan too. So our goal, through the town is let's keep everybody working, pointing towards things that we need. We need more people coming into town. We're looking for businesses all the time. We want our youth to come back, but if we bring them back, we've got to have jobs for them. So we're out looking for new businesses. And of course, tourism, we sit on the interstate, the main thoroughfare to Holiday World, where 1 million people come every year. We want to take advantage of that and bring them further into town.
And it looks like, you might, have some more growth out on the south end of town there near the interstate. I know there's building going up. What have we got going there?
Okay, what's going on there is it's a strip mall is the wrong term to put it, but it's a small strip store. The Subway store, which is on the north side of town, is going to move to the south side, and there will be some stores available there along with them. And then we're working right now with a motel chain to bring in a second motel into the area. So we're seeing that go. And then, of course, DMI has a large distribution center there that is up and running now at this time, too.
Very good. And so getting back to your vision group, this is all part of that group.
Yes, the vision piece, which, one of our big things was we need new businesses, we need more people coming into town. We're working very hard on things along those lines. And yes, the vision group has had a tremendous effect on that.
Ken, is there anything else that you would like to touch on this morning while you're here?
Well, we are in the process of coming into 2009 after a very busy 2008. We had a lot accomplished. We're challenging ourselves to, try some things more to just bring people into town. We initiated our first family night at the movies. We're down at the 18th Street Ballpark. We ran a film, had people come in. The high school, one of the high school groups sold concessions and things. We're thinking of doing that more during the summer. This summer at the park, we're going to actually have our own recreational director. The town's going to hire in a person to run some things at the park so that the children have something to do during the summer also. That's in addition in collaboration with the YMCA and the Baptist church in town that runs things at the park.
Okay, anything else?
No, we've just got a busy 2009 coming up, and we'll love to come back and report on things as they happen.
Well, very good. It looks like you've got 2009 off to a good start.
We're trying.
Very good. Ken Sicard, president of the Town Board of Ferdinand, thank you for being our guest today.
Thank you very much, Paul.
Our guest at this time is Donna Oeding. Donna is with the Dubois County Health Department.
Correct.
And today we're going to be talking about a very smoky subject, smoking in public places. Donna, welcome.
Thank you, Paul.
It's great to have you on the program. And of course, right now, the legislature is in session. And the topic of smoking and secondhand smoking and passing a bill of no smoking in public places is on the hot iron.
That is correct.
And so can you tell us a little bit about what's going on?
The legislature is proposing to pass a comprehensive smoke-free indoor air policy that would include all workplaces, including restaurants, bars, and casinos. The Health Department and the Dubois County Board of Health has passed a resolution in support of that and have sent that in to our legislators. We believe that providing smoke-free workplaces is just one of the most important public health measures that we can do for our citizens. We believe that people should not have to choose between where they work and their health. It has been indisputably proven that secondhand smoke harms human health. We know that it's a proven cause of lung cancer and heart disease even in non-smoking adults, and that's why we believe it is so important to pass these kind of laws.
Well, the thing of it is many of us, grew up in an era when the studies had not been available. The studies are now, like you said, we know that it is secondhand smoke is harmful to your health, and of course, American Cancer Society and many other groups health officials are out there telling us that, hey, you know, we need some kind of laws passed. And what is the state doing about it now? What does it look like?
I have not seen the actual bill itself, but it's my understanding it will include all those places and will ban smoking, across the board in those places. If the state would adopt this law, they would join 24 other states in the union that already have comprehensive ordinances. And then there are 4 other states that ban smoking in restaurants. They don't ban it in bars or casinos. So over half the states in the union have already passed some kind of legislation for smoke-free workplaces, and I believe it is time for Indiana to take a look at this as well. I know there are numerous communities within the state of Indiana that have passed smoke-free workplace ordinances, and we did try to have that accomplished here in Dubois County back in 2005 and 2006 when we presented ordinances to both the city of Huntingburg and the city of Jasper. We could not get that accomplished at that time, but the evidence continues to come in about how important it is to provide these places for our workers.
Well, and of course, smoking is a little addictive.
Oh, absolutely.
And but on the national level, there is a proposal of a tremendous tax increase on cigarettes.
In fact, President Obama just last week signed a large tobacco tax increase of 61 cents on all cigarette items and an adjoining tax increase, federal tax increase on other types of tobacco-related items. So it's my understanding that federal tax alone on a pack of cigarettes is well over $1 a carton. So we believe that will have huge public health impact on the costs and the benefits. We think that there will be somewhere close to 30,000 fewer smokers that are smoking now because they can't afford to do it. We hope that almost 24,000 fewer deaths will occur because of smoking and secondhand smoke. We believe, and it's projected, that the state of Indiana alone will save over $1 billion in healthcare costs because of the increase in just the federal tax alone, not even the state's smoke-free law that's being adopted. But we have a long way to go because, unfortunately, Indiana still ranks at the top, or if you want to look at it, the bottom of our percentage of people that smoke. We have almost 23% of our high school students smoke, and 24% of our adults smoke. Those are some kind of numbers that we really need to address because they are bringing back huge healthcare costs and public health consequences through just their own illnesses and then the illnesses from secondhand smoking exposure. And we know that over 400,000 children in the state of Indiana are exposed to secondhand smoke. That's a number we need to work on.
And of course, it affects their health. Maybe very slightly when you're young, but as you grow older, it does affect your system.
Oh, certainly. And it's been proven, like I said, that secondhand smoke does cause cancer and other heart diseases in non-smoking people because we know that secondhand smoke contains over 4,000 chemicals and 50 known carcinogens. So we don't want to expose anybody to that. We know as a result of all these programs that are being developed now that we will have to look at doing cessation programs for everybody that is smoking to help them to try to quit, because that is really, the second-hand goal of all of this is to try to help people quit smoking. And we know that is not an easy thing to do. So I know Memorial has some programs for smoking cessation, and those have been real successful.
And I guess that's an ongoing thing.
Absolutely.
Donna, as the director of the Dubois County Health Department, what is the health department? I know you're working hard, to protect the well-being of the county, and your department. You're to be congratulated for that.
Thank you.
And as far as working on the smoking, it's, I guess, an ongoing thing.
It is. We have kind of backed down from trying to push the local issue at this time. really just because we didn't have a whole lot of success, and that was just a couple of years ago. I'm not saying that we won't bring it back, but in seeing now that the state of Indiana is trying to propose the same kind of a law, we are throwing our support behind the state legislature and the governor to try to get this passed. And we've been working with the state health commissioner as well, asking her to lead the champion. She's the champion for public health in the state of Indiana, asking her to support this. And we know the State Department of Health is also supporting this issue.
What can the viewing public do to help push this bill?
Absolutely contact your legislators. This is just one more issue where you need to be in touch with your local legislators, making sure they're aware of where you stand on these issues. It's so important for them to hear from you that you believe that this is what we need to do at this time.
Okay, is there anything else?
I believe that's it for today.
If not, Donna Oeding, it's been a pleasure having you on the program. With us today is the mayor of the city of Jasper, Mayor Bill Schmitt.
Good morning.
Good morning and welcome to the 18 News.
Happy to be with you, Paul.
It's great to be here, and like always, there is a lot of things going on in the city of Jasper.
There sure is. You know, in spite of what our economy is doing right now, we have some interesting projects that are going to create another segment of boosting our economy through tourism.
Yes, and this morning I think, why don't we get a little update on the progress of the train.
Okay.
I think that we have the engine and a bunch of cars.
We do. Of course, our train excursion is dependent upon the Indiana Historical Railroad, our Indiana Railroad Museum, which operates out of French Lick, and we've worked very closely with Alan Barnett because he has control over that segment of railroad from Huntingburg actually to French Lick. And so he has been great to work with in partnership with our efforts here to bring this train from Jasper to French Lick. And Alan currently has the engine, and he is using it in French Lick. But the two cars that we have completed, there's a Parlor Car 300 and Car 400. And the first car, 300, was basically the handiwork of Master Brand and Lenny and Mark's and his son Matt, and a lot of other people have helped with that. Ramey Eckerly through the street department, and Dawn Thorne, who was she was the designer of it, the inside, and then the chairs have been donated by the Jasper Group, which is Jasper Seating, and the tables are from Ditto Sales for Steel, and there's just a lot of other people. I'm getting myself in trouble when I start mentioning names because there are so many people involved, but we really do appreciate all of the work that everybody has, and time and finances that they've put towards these cars. And the second car was pretty well exclusively handled by the Jasper Engine Exchange and OFS. They took that car from the inside from start to finish and just did all of it. The roof and the outside painting was done by the street department, and also Rojack then provided the generators. Now both of these cars have heating and air conditioning, and both of these cars have restroom facilities on them. And there are two different types of cars. The 300 is more traditional with tables and chairs, and the car 400 is a lounge type car. So you can have a very nice experience in either one of these cars. And those two are completed. Then the good news is actually Rojack is working on a third car. And it is that car has been taken on by the president of Rojack, Dave Beeler. And presently it is gutted, and they're taking everything out and building it back up to its grandeur for the trip. So in the end, we'll actually have three very top quality cars for transportation for passengers. The trip from Jasper to French Lick will take about an hour and 15, hour and 20 minutes. And the timetable that we're under is kind of up in the air yet, because it's going to depend on the rehabilitation of the tracks from French Lick to Jasper, or Jasper to French Lick. So we are expecting that the inaugural run from between the two communities will be sometime in July of 2009. And, yesterday I talked a little bit about the mill. So the Strassenfest, the first weekend in August, is kind of a target date for everything. But we think the train will actually be done maybe in the middle of July. And we'll have a few test runs before we actually hit the Strassenfest. So I think this year at the Strassenfest is going to be really an exciting time from all of the work that the ROJAC committee has put together towards these projects.
I've seen the inside of the cars, and I think we have video of them, and they are really elaborate.
They're very nice cars, and again, on the first car, Dawn Tharn graciously donated her time and for the interior design, picking the color schemes, and it just turned out wonderful. The second car, they had interior designers from OFS along with the good folks from Jasper Engine who designed that car. And so when you take the trip to French Lick from Jasper, and I don't know how we're really going to work out the ticket details yet, but you might want to ride one car up and then another car back if that works out. But I don't know if it'll work out that way because there might be assigned seating. But there will be just a totally different look and design on both of these cars, which makes it kind of unique. So I think no matter what you're looking for, if a traditional type train ride with tables and chairs that will kind of put you in mind of the old-time dining cars, then you'll want to ride on 300. But if you want to ride in a more of a relaxed atmosphere of a lounge car and more modern type of a car, then car 400 will be your car to ride on. We've been working very hard here to accommodate those cars, and working with, again, Alan Barnett, and he's increased the siding along the depot here in Jasper so that the train cars, passenger cars, and the engine can be parked right along a siding rail right next to the depot. And while it's parked there, then we will have the capabilities of having electricity where they actually plugged in, much like a motorhome would be when they're stationary, and that way you won't have to use the generators. And then also, since they have restrooms, we accommodated a dumping site there near the depot to handle that. So we've had a lot of people looking at what it takes to make these cars a truly enjoyable experience for a tourist ride, or just a getaway of maybe of having your friends, a group of your friends taking the train up, having a few relaxing drinks on the way up, spend some time in French Lick and have a nice dining experience there, and coming back. So we think it is going to be a great draw. Now, what we're really working on from now that we have this far along with the rehabilitating those cars is marketing, and the Dubois County Tourism Commission has working well with ROJAC of getting the word out, and through all of their distributors where they advertise to bring people in to a nice experience here in Dubois County.
Well, I think it is really great, but then you have these cars parked here. Are they going to be available for meetings or parties? Or?
That's another part that we want to talk about, is that when the cars aren't moving, and since they are equipped for seating, and they can be used then for meetings and small parties. Each car will hold about 40 people, give or take a few people. So for groups that size, they'd be utilized for that. Now, we are establishing a rental fee for a stationary car, and the traveling of the train trips will be ticket sales. And there'll also be special times when someone may want to come in and rent the entire train for a trip to French Lick, so that it'll be a closed rental also. We're going to be very versatile and try to maximize the use of these cars.
You know, a lot of the money for all of this has been donated.
It has, and I can't thank the members of ROJAC, and I don't just mean the committee members here. I mean anybody who has become a member of the ROJAC effort and have a ROJAC membership. We appreciate that. And if you're not a ROJAC member, we encourage you to become one before the end of the day. The other thing, that, along with that, we have incurred quite a bit of expenses in all these projects, so that when we do set up the train rides, it will be a way of ROJAC recuperating some of their costs and paying off some of the debt that we have incurred through the ROJAC effort.
But if people want to make a donation or become a member, it doesn't take a lot to be a member.
It doesn't, and there's a wide range of membership levels. So we would, we appreciate anyone who shows an interest, and we've had fundraisers, that are ongoing, such as the brick sales on the boulevard, and just put a plug in here at the train depot. We had that beautiful clock that was donated by Bob and Lavella Rook Regal, just kind of a town square type of clock that, as you pull in on the train or whether you drive into the depot area, it kind of welcomes you to give you that warm feeling of a community that you're coming into. Again, I think a large part of America has a love affair with train rides, and we think it is such an attraction. So we're trying to give you that experience and the nostalgia of riding on a train like took place in the early part of the century.
Mayor, our time is really just about up, but I do want to say yesterday was a beautiful day. And what used to be a real blighted area down there along the river, there were people all over that park.
It was very nice, and
yes,
people were taking advantage. The River Walk started all of this, and we've got a lot of work to do yet in that area, but we're making progress there. And the old cabinet company is owned by Jerry Foose. Jerry has plans for that. I mean, I know it looks bad now, and Jerry knows it looks bad, but there's plans for that, and we can see that whole area becoming a great attraction. Plus, I think what ROJAC has done, it will be the catalyst for the Hoosier Desk building and the cabinet company building and other buildings down in that facility to grow and prosper.
Mayor, I think that we've extended our time a little bit, but it's been a pleasure, and we can have you back sometime.
We're glad to come back.
And thank you for being our guest.
Thank you, Paul.